Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. Today we have a full pull workout. So we're back to the start of the week. So this is week 2 now within the cut. And as you can see, the old favourite exercise, which is the seated curl. So on this one, definitely seeing the movement increase in strength here. Moving up that stack nicely. So again, I went up another 2 plates on this one. So I'm definitely seeing the strength increase. Which is really nice to see. So on this one, as I said before, I'm looking to hug there, make sure I'm nice and secure and really squeeze at the bottom. What you'll notice on this one is I see a lot of people overextend those legs out, locking out the knees and taking that tension away from the hamstring that we're looking to work. So remember, if you then go locked out, you're going to be bringing more tension on the quad, and ideally that's not what we're looking to do on this one. So this is probably a better angle for you to see. These are the back off sets, so I'm always keeping a slight bend in that knee, keeping the tension on the hamstring, being explosive at the bottom, bring it down, and then keep a slight hold on it, and then nice and slow back up. So as I was mentioning in the previous video, ideally you're looking to try and look at your body and look at it in the mirror and be honest with yourself. Realistically, you're not going to be able to bring up every body part. Obviously, if you do go into a calorie surplus, you will be progressing in every part, but really want to be prioritising certain body parts. So for instance, you know, if your legs want to be brought up, you're going to need to be focusing solely on them. You can't be focusing on chest, back, arms and legs all at the same time. So for me, the best thing to do would just focus on maybe 1 or 2 body parts and really make them your focus. Make sure that the training is definitely intense. Make sure you've got that mind-muscle connection. And obviously if you are in a surplus, that's going to lead to muscle growth. So this is a new exercise I incorporated. I've always seen people do things like this in the gym and I always thought that's a bit of a fad, but I did try it out. This gym, as you can see, this is the only machine they have for hamstrings, which is the seated one. Other pure gyms have the lying down hamstring, which I do like, but this one unfortunately doesn't have that. So I thought I'd get a bit creative and I tried this. Don't get me wrong, it's not as good as the others. As you can see, the pad's quite small because this isn't a leg extension machine, but definitely something to throw in. You want to try and utilise different exercises, hit the muscle from different angles, and this is just something that I incorporated. So on this one I just did 3 straight sets. And I definitely did feel the burn on the hamstrings, so not something I'll probably be using every workout for my hamstrings, but something I'll definitely throw in once in a while. So just as I was saying in terms of the seated, it's the exact same movement here, but obviously you are stood up. So again, we're just looking to make sure that we're having a nice squeeze, bring that, just envision that you're trying to put your heel to your bum. That's probably the easiest way to describe it for you. Nice and explosive up, hold it, and then slow negative, and then do that. So on this one, as I say, 3 sets, 10 to 15 by the end of it. As I say, I felt as if my hamstrings had really good work with this and the seated. And that, for me, that's perfect, that's enough. So that's 6 working sets. As I say, this isn't a full leg workout, this is just solely my hamstring orientated part of the workout. And then I move on and I'll do my sets for my back, and then I finish off with bicep. So this is a good pull. In pull workouts, you'll probably see a lot of people not do any form of hamstring work. For me, it's a great workout, especially starting a workout with hamstrings. For some reason, it just gets the blood moving, and then it moves nicely onto the back exercises. So this one, as I say, I went up quite significantly from previous workout. Don't get me wrong, I felt as if the form was out when I reviewed this. Even at the time, I felt as if I didn't feel as stable as normal. And when you do feel that you're starting to work other parts, so in this one I started to feel slightly in my shoulders. That was probably just my body saying maybe time to drop that weight. We are looking to obviously go as heavy as possible, but definitely not looking to sacrifice the form. I know some people like to train quite sloppy. For me, that's not something. Don't get me wrong. I've done it in the past, especially when you're younger. Definitely ego lifting weights you probably have no business lifting, and it's great. You can build strength in that. But for me, as I'm getting older, definitely too much risk ratio there in terms of getting injured. So for this, I lowered down the weight for the next two back off sets and really focused on that contraction in the back. For me on this exercise, yes, you are working your lats, but I really feel it all over my back, rhomboids, even in your traps and your lower back. So it's definitely an exercise, as you'll see from my videos, I do utilise quite a lot. And it's normally the way I would start my back workout, just to get that blood moving through it and open up every part of that back. So then I move on to the D handle pull down. You will have seen this before. Consciously I brought my straps this time. These are the hook straps. So for me, I previously had an injury on my bicep, and that's why I purchased these, because I really struggled to grip anything. Probably back in the day I always thought not using straps, you want to build that forearm strength, it's cheating if you're using straps, but definitely for back exercises you want to take away the emphasis from the grip strength and really just be able to utilise those back muscles. So for this, I'm not needing to concentrate on gripping it. All I'm doing is focusing on leading that elbow back as far as possible in towards the hip area. So on this one again, it was the top set. Consciously not overextending that shoulder. You don't want that shoulder coming right past, and keeping that tension within the lat area. On that rep, when I was just reviewing it, as you can see, I probably cheated a little bit too much than what I would prefer. So again, just taking mental notes of this next time I go in, and making sure that form is correct. So then move on to the next arm. So some people have different, ways of doing this. Some people will take a good 2-3 minutes before moving on. For me, I'm working different arms, so it's probably a preference thing. For me, I feel fresh enough that I can then move on and do the next part of obviously the exercise. So, going from right to left is no problem for me. But if you are solely focusing on strength, then I can see the advantages of potentially taking a 2 to 3 minute rest and then working on the next part. But for me, no more than sort of 2 or 3 minutes would be for me, and that's doing both. Okay, so now on to the back offsets here. So again, lighten the load a little bit, and then you're pushing for that 10 to 15. Going from, the 6 to 10 rep range, obviously you're pushing as heavy as you can, but also going up to that 10 to 15, you are still looking to build those numbers as high as possible. So each back offset and also each top set, you're looking to try and increase those numbers and build that strength. So as I said before, this is the main focus of my workouts. I always incorporate the different reps ranges. For me, it's just where I get growth the best, as opposed to the low volume. For me, I think that's more the powerlifting style. If it works for you, then great, carry on. Everyone is very much individual. But for me, this is the best sort of plan that I have done throughout my time. And believe me, obviously I've done quite a few, as most people have. So then end the back workout portion of this workout, and you've seen me film this machine before, but the one thing you'll probably notice here, as opposed to the lower handle, which is going to be more isolating of the lats, pulling from the top handle, what that's doing is working my total upper back, so your teres muscle, the rhomboids, and obviously your traps. And for me, this is something that I'm looking to try and develop as well. get that 3D back is definitely the look that you're looking for. And also, obviously, your rear delts are going to come into play. So again, just building up my strength on this exercise. Although it is the same machine, it's different hand placement, and you won't be as strong in different angles. So again, it's just working my way up. Normally, in the past, I've got up to the full stack. I'm not too far away from it here, so I'd envision in the next sort of couple of weeks, I'll definitely be up pulling that full stack again. But again, not sacrificing the form. So I always look to review the tapes here. Obviously I'm filming it obviously for the YouTube, but for me personally, I like to review, see where my form is, and just take mental notes and then correct that moving forward. So as you can see here, then move on to the back offsets. It's cover more of a controlled, less jerking, and again that's just something to be mindful of on those top sets. The form may dip a little bit, but you don't want it to be too all over the place. And now into the bicep portion of the workout. Biceps are something that I have not really trained, probably I would say consistently over the last sort of 4 or 5 months. I had real bad golfer's elbow, and I don't know if anyone's had that. Been to see physios and stuff, and unfortunately the best advice, and the only advice they could really give me, was time would heal it. Thankfully that did happen, and now I'm just slowly building up that strength. Thankfully get no discomfort whatsoever, so things like this were just impossible a couple of months ago. So definitely great to get back to doing these types of exercises, and I'm definitely expecting to see the arms come up with the rest of the body part. So as you can see here, I'm just finishing off this portion of the workout. So on this was a straight bar, this was 3 sets of 10 to 15. On reflection, this top definitely does look a bit tight for me, so that may need to go into the cupboard until obviously I'm leaned down a little bit more. So on this one, a great exercise, constant tension, you're using the pulley system. As you see from the exercise that I'm doing, you're looking to let those arms come down, not fully. You do want to have some tension still on the bicep, so similar to what I was talking about in the hamstring, not fully extended down at the bottom. You're then going to just be using ligaments and your elbow hinge to bring them back up. And then the final part of the workout is, this is something that I've recently started doing. I definitely feel it more as opposed to your dumbbell curls. Again, it's the pulley, so it's that constant tension, and it's just the D handles. So again, this was higher reps here, so 3 sets of 10 to 15. So on this, because it was my last exercise, as you'll see soon, I did decide to do just a drop set. Now intensifiers are definitely good. You know, you can do cluster sets, you know, take a 5-second rest, go again, 5-second rest, go again. It's a good way of obviously, you know, maximising the time under tension. However, not something I'd really recommend you doing too many intensifiers like drop sets. You know, people do 21s with the biceps. You know, all these types of things are very fatiguing on the body, especially when you're in that deficit. What you're looking to do is obviously manage that as best you can. So things like your intensifiers are really going to be quite taxing. So utilise them when you feel this. I felt particularly good this morning, so I did utilise them.